The setting sun, like blood, splashed over the abandoned road on the outskirts of the city. Members of the Steel Snake motorcycle gang formed a circle, and the roar of the engines tore through the twilight. In the center of the circle, the German Shepherd Thunder was covered in mud and blood. The tendons in his front leg were cut open with a machete, but he still propped himself up with trembling limbs. His amber eyes were tightly fixed on the strong man in front of him with snake-shaped patterns on his arms, betrayal that tears apart the flesh and blood. "Let this brute know who the boss is." The tattooed man grinned maliciously and raised the steel pipe, which made a dull thud as it hit Thunder's scapula. The nail of Chen Feng, who was hiding behind the bushes, was deeply pinched into his palm. The former Marine's muscles were tense all over at the moment, and the skin under his tactical vest was burning with anger. The Thunder was not only his partner, but also his life and death. Brother who shielded him from shrapnel on the Middle East battlefield. The members of the motorcycle gang were drunk and making a commotion. No one noticed that Chen Feng had already gone around to the side wing. When the tattooed man swung the bat again, Thunder suddenly burst up and bit his wrist, but was kicked in the abdomen from behind by another rider. Thunder Chen Feng roared and rushed out, the muzzle of the Type 92 pistol precisely locking onto the leader's brow. "Let it go." The secret of metal fragments? During the confrontation, Thunder dragged his injured leg to Chen Feng's feet, and the warm blood soaked through his master's combat boots. Seeing the situation was not good, the motorcycle gang fled in a panic. Chen Feng knelt on the ground to examine Lei Ting's wound. Under the moonlight, a reflective metal piece pierced his line of sight. It was a USB drive that had fallen from the pocket of the tattooed man, with a half-snake pattern engraved on its outer shell. When the ambulance roared in, Chen Feng was bandaging Lei Ting's leg with a tourniquet. The veterinarian told him at the door of the operating room, "The tendon injury is very serious, but it has a very strong will to survive." And at this moment, Chen Feng pocket USB disk like a soldering iron. He remembers the vague curse of the motorcycle gang members before the evacuation. "Steel Snake will not let you off. ... The threat in the data chain. 3 days later, Thunder was licking his bandage in the kennel, while Chen Feng was cracking the password of a USB drive in the tactical command center. The moment the screen lit up, his pupils constricted suddenly. It wasn't pornographic films or gambling records inside, but encrypted files marked container list of coastal port, with accompanying photos showing the Steel Snake gang unloading containers printed with military logistics numbers. "Captain, this is no ordinary gang." Chen Feng pushed the document to Liang, saying, "On the day Thunder was attacked, they deliberately left the USB drive, which was more like a test. Surveillance footage shows that among the members of the Steel Snake gang, there are people wearing retirement badges, and the list of container goods clearly includes assault rifle parts and explosives. A defense line forged by loyalty. The rehabilitation training of Thunder was extremely arduous. Every jump would cause severe pain in the wound, but as long as Chen Feng shouted target lock, it would still drag its injured leg and pounced on the training dummy. One evening, Chen Feng took it to the seaside for rehabilitation. Suddenly, Thunder broke free from the traction rope and dug out a metal box under the breakwater. Inside was the satellite phone used by the Steel Snake gang to contact foreign forces. "You've saved me again." Chen Feng rubbed Thunder's ears, and the setting sun cast a long shadow on the sea surface. Now they know that what seemed to be an attack on military dogs was actually a test by criminal groups on the border inspection system. And that K9 military dog, whose bone was broken by a steel pipe, tore open the dark curtain of cross-border arms, smuggling with its flesh and blood. The unfinished battle song. Now, Thunder's injured leg has left a permanent scar, but he can still complete high-difficulty lunges and bites in tactical drills. When Chen Feng submitted the evidence on the USB drive to the National Security Department, there was an additional video attached, a figure of Thunder running on the training ground, with the caption, "Loyalty never needs words." It is an order engraved in the marrow. When the city fell asleep, Chen Feng's tactical boots stepped over the patrol route. The claws of the Thunder made a crisp sound on the asphalt road. They knew that the remnants of the Steel Snake gang were still lurking in the shadows. But as long as they stood side by side with each other, even if the road ahead was full of thorns, the loyal protection would never come to an end, because some bonds were harder than steel and hotter than blood.